Mm. Um, do you think puzzles help you improve as a player? Yeah. No, they help you tremendously. It's crazy. Like I'm the prime example. I was like a 2000 rated player like a month ago, and now I'm 2200 and getting close to 2300. So yeah, they help you. They help you a lot. But you have to do them well. Because when people come here and they see the position, they just tell you one move and then they are gone. No, you're supposed to find the entire sequence and then you make a move. So that helps you, like, it helps you improve your visualization, right? You're capable of visualizing lines in your head, and the more you do that, the better it will be for you in your games. So that's a big thing. It's not just about doing the puzzles; you have to do them well. Okay, I have some ideas. I'll share them with you. Like, since Rook C8 doesn't work, Rook F3 doesn't work. I'm only seeing Rook F2. Now, Rook F2 runs into check. You can play Queen B8. But we have Bishop F8 covering our king. And in that position, I feel sort of safe. If I play Bishop F8 and my Rook is on F2, we have a lot of pressure on C2. And also we have the check on D4. So all of those elements combined, they look crushing. Now, the only concern is to find a square for the queen, so he can basically defend everything. And there is one square that does that, which is Queen C4. Queen C4 defending the critical square C2 as well as D4. So that's why I haven't played Rook F2 yet, because he has Queen C4, which is also threatening mate in 1. So C4 and maybe D5 is a thing. But after pawn takes, plays pawn takes, we have another check. And then king takes could be a thing. But I don't know how's that winning. I don't know how's that winning. So Rook F2, Queen C4. Now we do have a dark square bishop too. Okay, now I have another idea. Do you ever get puzzles where a draw is the best you can do? Yes, they are rare. You don't get them very often, but they do happen from time to time. Now I'm looking at d5. Yeah, if you push pawn, you lose the bishop. Yeah, but it's a good sacrifice to play d5 because we need to remove the queen. from this area, where it's defending these critical squares. And d5 is sort of helping me to do that. Because if the queen moves away, queen d4 is crushing along with rook f2. So he's gonna go here and he's getting mated on d2. So d5 now looks, since rook f2 we couldn't make it work, d5 looks very tempting. He takes, and then we give a check on d4, king e2, rook f2, king e1, queen d2, checkmate. So that's very promising. Now, what else can they do? So if we go d5, they don't have queen c4. They can play queen a5. Sorry, queen a4. Queen a4 is a move. Now, if queen a4 becomes a thing, maybe we can try rook f2 after that. So we play rook f2, and now we're putting pressure on c2, but he has bishop d1. So he plays bishop d1. We don't really make him much progress there. I can play pawn takes maybe, king takes, but this check is never available. So yeah. So d5, queen a4. d5, queen a4. Yeah. Me gusta más de 5. Yes, d5, very promising. Black to move? Yeah. Yeah, d5 is promising, but I can't find the knockout blow. We have to keep searching for it. The biggest concern about d5 is queen a4. If it takes, I win. I'm quite confident that if it takes the bishop, I win. But if they don't take, that's the issue. That's the problem. They go queen a4 instead. Pues yo tengo 6 en un buen día, 7. ¿De qué estás hablando? O sea... Ah. Alright, d5. Queen a4. Pawn takes e4, maybe. Pawn takes e4. If king takes, I have queen takes c2. Takes. Oh my god. d5, queen c3. Nah. What do you mean queen c3? Now queen c3 loses. Like, it's not a move, queen c3, is it? Alright, we go d5, queen c3. Pawn takes. c4.
Assy.
How do you win that? Assy, thank you for the follow. You're dropping the bishop. Yeah, but if it takes, we have checkmate. If it takes the bishop, we win. Creo que hace c3, no a4 con no. Okay. c3, takes e4. Yeah, it has king c4 though. Yeah, that's a good observation. This is also a move. You play king c3. And then we take. And then the king goes here. And that's not winning either. Like, I don't really see how to make it work. Well, maybe we can play this. We'll play queen h3 maybe. Queen h3. And if he goes down, check. There. Check. check. I like queen a3 after that. But okay, I think queen a3 is sort of interesting if that ever happens. Like we go d5, queen c3, and then we take king c4. King c4. Yeah, it has to go to c4 because if it goes to d2, we have bishop check. That wins. So it has to go to c4 and then queen a3. But queen a3 is threatening c5 check. And that check is checkmate. So he has to do something about that. Maybe pawn up. It goes pawn b4. Pawn b4, queen a6 check, king b3. Oh, it's getting messy. Really hard to see everything. d5, rook f2 if queen a4. Yeah, I was looking at it, but then he goes bishop d1. And he's defending very well. ¿Vamos a jugar? No creo. Sack the bishop. Yeah, we're looking at d5, but then we don't know how to continue. I mean, we only have one variation cover, which is checkmate if it takes the bishop. That's the only thing that we know for the moment. But if he goes queen a4, or if he plays queen c3, it gets very messy. Very, very messy. That's the truth. That's the reality here. d5, rook f2. Yeah, but you're only playing with black. That is nonsense, Kyle. Sorry, but like, you gotta consider why it moves. Like, if we play d5, what happens if they go queen c3? Are you gonna play rook f2 anyways? You know what I mean? Like, you have to consider why moves in your calculations, not only your moves. d5, if queen a4, can be bishop a1 capture queen. I just don't understand you. Like, if you play d5, what is white's continuation? Are they gonna take the bishop? Great. If they do that, we win. But what if they play queen c3? What if they play queen a4? Then what the fuck? Just play already. Yeah, it's just that I don't know the answer. I'm not in a rush. I don't want to get it wrong. If you don't have the patience, just go. Don't be stupid. c3 es mejor. Rook c8. Yeah, rook c8 doesn't work, unfortunately, because he has bishop takes. Queen takes bishop. Yeah, if that happens, child, we win. So d5, if it takes the bishop, we have queen check, king e2, rook f2 check, king e1, and then queen d2 checkmate. So he can't take the bishop. So that's why d5 is so tempting. Hi, queen c3, d takes e4, king can't take. Yeah, we know that. Like, we play d5, queen c3, and then we take, and yes, the king can't take, but he can go to c4. If the king goes to c4, what do we do, Leo? Queen c3 is a blunder for white. You have to justify why is it a blunder, though. Because we play pawn takes e4, and of course they're not going to take it. They're going to go to c4, and they are still defending the queen on c3. So how is that a blunder? If you have an answer to it, I'll follow, but to me, it doesn't seem to be a blunder to play king c4. It would be a blunder if they play king e4. So that's why you should rephrase. You should say, if they take on e4, it's a blunder, because the queen is on c3 and I can take it for free. Rook f2. Rook f2 immediately. Okay, we haven't looked at this. It's interesting. It's a good recommendation. Rook f2 immediately. What could happen? We are actually threatening this. If he plays bishop here, bishop d1, and it's really hard to make progress after bishop d1. We don't really have a good check. But we do have d5 after. But he has a check. Yeah, that would be a problem. d5, check. But I can play bishop fa. Rook f2, along with d5. Okay, so rook f2. threatening this, so he has to defend. How are you gonna defend that? Maybe you give a check, I don't know. But rook f2, putting pressure here. And it might be leading to checkmate. Like, if we get this move in, we win. But the queen is defending that. It's interesting, rook f2, but you have to elaborate on it. You have to explain it further. F2 hace c3. Pero c3 así. Ganamos. Jugamos jaque acá. Bueno, king c4. King c4, and then d5 wins the queen. So now c3 pierde. d5 is the move. Yeah, we're trying to make it work. But we have some problems with queen a4 as well as queen c3 if we play d5. So you can check on d4. In what line? I missed that. Rook d2, queen d2. Rook d2 is unplayable. f2 for sure. I kind of like rook f2. I think it is asking questions. But I don't know the answers to those questions yet. Like, rook f2, attacking c2. That's all I know. What if they play queen c4, though? Like, it's not a forcing move. That's also a thing which is very important. When you play this type of puzzles, it's very important to find forcing moves. And if you play rook f2, yes, you are putting pressure on at c2, but is it enough? And they have so many ways to defend that. Like, they can play queen c4, queen c3, bishop d1, and you have to calculate all of those possibilities to justify rook f2. Like, if you see a winning line after bishop d1, be my guest, play rook f2. If you see a winning line after queen c3 defending c2, be my guest, play it. Play rook f2. But you gotta see it. If you don't see it, it's just not a good move. Queen c4, bishop g5. Okay, queen c4 is unplayable, so please get your coordinates on point so we can understand what you're trying to say. Queen c3, d takes e4, king c4, rook c8 wins the queen. Yeah, unfortunately, rook c8 is not available because he takes with the bishop. So it doesn't win the queen. d5, if queen c3, then d takes e4, king c4. Yeah, don't try to be smart. Calculate. Try to don't underestimate my chess either, like, because I'm not a weak player. Not anymore. So you gotta come up with something that is winning. And calculate it well, because, yes, of course, if they take on e4, nice. You win, right? But of course, that would be too easy. You gotta play, white is gonna go king c4 if you take on e4. And the queen is still defended on c3. So you need to come up with something concrete that is winning. I mean, rook f2, queen c4. Alright, rook f2. Rook f2, I play bishop here. Bishop d1 instead of queen c4. Did you calculate bishop d1? Because you don't know what would be the answer for white. You gotta calculate bishop d1 as well. Not only queen c4, which is convenient for you. Si Agostaro le pongo los papeles de mi casa a d5. Yeah, at least the good thing about d5 is that it is a forcing move. It is forcing. Yeah, we are attacking the queen. So the queen has to find a square, right? And they can't take the bishop. That's another thing that makes d5 very attractive. See my line. Go ahead. d5, rook f2. If check, bishop f8. Yeah, that makes sense. d5, but what is white's response to d5? Which is a very important question. If you want to play rook f2, great. But where does the queen go? Does it go to c3? Does it go to a4? Where does the queen go? Perpetual check. Queen c1 after bishop d1. Okay, so we play rook f2, bishop d1, queen c1. The queen is still defending the dark squares, by the way. So what would be the idea of queen c1? What is the maneuver that you're trying to accomplish? c5, rook f2. Okay, c5 is not really here, so get your coordinates on point so we can understand. D5. Si C3, tomamos E4. Si A4, hacemos torre de 8. Torre de 8. Está media lenta, pero no entiendo cuál es la idea. D5, C3. D5, damos C3. Tomamos N4. Ya, tomamos N4. Y se va a venir para acá. Hacemos torre de 8. Pero si juegas torre de 8 pierde la dama. Te toma la dama porque la dama está en C3, ¿cierto? But he could check with queen on B8. Yeah, I mean, this maneuver, bishop f8, has been considered. Like, we have rook f2, bishop f8. But I don't see the winning line. You have to explain it very well. I still say it's the d pawn. Yeah, I think that the best candidate move is d5. But we have to calculate, like, what happens with queen a4, queen c3. And we haven't come up with a proper answer to those questions. So that's why we're still here. We play d5. All we know, everything that we know so far is that if he takes the bishop, we win. That's all that we know. That's all we know. d5. Okay, but Kyle, you're pissing me off. Like, you have to come up with wise response. Not just black moves. Like you want me to play d5, and then whatever white does is irrelevant according to your idea, and we play rook f2 after that. What if you play d5 and you want to play rook f2 after that? What if they go c3? What if they play queen a4? Are you going to play rook f2 anyway? If queen a4 can't, queen c3, d takes e4. Alright, if queen a4, alright, let me pay attention to this though. You go to a4, the pawn is on d5, we play rook f2, and you're saying what exactly? D takes e4, then rook, then queen c1, then it's just that I can't follow up that. I can't do it because you're only talking about black's moves. d5, d4. Really hard to justify d5, d4. So you're not reading my comments then. I have the answer of queen c3. Rook f2, bishop d1, bishop g5, then bring queen to c1 no matter what. Yeah, but you are getting somewhat mated here if you bring all the pieces out. Like, a check here would be very disruptive to your plans. Because you gotta block that, because if you don't block and the king goes up, promotion would win for white. If queen a4, d4, I guess. If queen c3, it takes e4. King c4. Yeah, if the king goes to c4, though, what do we do after the king goes to c4? How is that winning? d5. Jeez, mate. King c4, queen a3. Cast the king out. Maybe there is a mate threat somewhere. Yeah, Leo, I actually look at that too. Like, queen a3 as a promising idea when the king goes to c4. After pawn takes. King c4, queen a3. But the only problem that I saw in that line, Leo, is b4. King c4, b4. And that will cut the communication. And it's also offering a queen trade. So we have to find a mating sequence with queen a6 check. And then the king goes back. It goes to d5. Is it d5 a move? Yes, d5. And then we can give a check over here, I think. Check. We give that check. The king goes back to c4. And then we can give a check on c5. And that's checkmate. That's actually checkmate. So yeah, queen a3. The queen a3 maneuver is very interesting. Queen a6, d6, c5 is actually checkmate at the very end. So, nice. I think we have a response to king c4. And I think it's queen a3. Now, they do have some other moves, right? They can play rook a1. Rook a1 when the queen is on c3, the king is on c4. We go here. Rook a1. It runs into check like this. Check, and that's also checkmate. Oh, that's actually very nice. Okay, we found 2 checkmate combinations with queen a3. What else can they do? Alright, so the king is on c4. Queen a3. Okay, that looks very promising. Hi, Jorgito. Hello, hello. Yeah, I kind of like what I found there, like with queen c3 and king c4. d5, d4? I don't know. Then check to the queen, then rook check. Okay. And if they go queen a4, we were looking at okay, so we have this move. Queen a4, and then rook f2. If rook f2, putting pressure over here. Yeah, the critical line would be to find a winning sequence with queen a4 now. I think that we have a winning sequence with queen c3. With queen c3, we found a winning sequence. But queen a4 now is the problem. If we go queen a4, I'm not exactly sure, like, what do we do there? Bro, d5, d4. Yeah, but why? Like, you want me to play d5, queen a4, d4. How's that winning for white? Sorry, for black. What comes after d4? Pony de cuatro and eat the bishop. Pawn d4 and eat the bishop. Check, but what? If you push the d pawn, I'll follow your account. I will push the d pawn. I think that is the most forcing move, and you don't have to follow. I'll play it anyway. What do you think about rook d8? I find it too slow. I find it too slow. Like the winning plan is one move, only one move, and I don't think it's rook d8. We're gonna play d5, but again, I still don't know what to do if they play queen a4. But we're gonna go d5. Alright, they play queen c3, which is very promising because for this one we did find a winning plan, and it was pawn takes, and then queen a3, and then I didn't see this check. I didn't see that check at all. Okay, we can still play bishop f6. It's the only move, to be honest. Bishop f6. And then what? There's no longer checkmate anymore. Okay. We gotta play bishop f6 here. We have to. I was giving you a bait switch. Really? I don't think it would work. Well, sometimes it does. f6, d takes... What? Now we play bishop f6, and then we go from there. We're gonna activate the queen somehow. In a very good manner, but... Yeah, we have to play bishop f6. There is no other moves, right? Okay, what about rook f6? Just double checking real quick. Rook f6? It's not really doing much, right? Yeah, this move, I completely missed this move, bro. It's annoying.
Daddy of Charlotte and Mouse.
Daddy, thank you for the follow. Rook f6, queen b8. Queen b8. It's just like, yeah, like, if we keep the bishop on this diagonal, our attack is quite strong, you know? Because we are threatening mate on c5. Only if the queen moves away, though. But I think I need this bishop in this diagonal. So I'm looking at rook f6 as a candidate move. And then they're gonna give a check. And if they do, we can block with the bishop. We have rook f6, that move. Now, if we play bishop f6 immediately, I think that our advantage is sort of... It's not there anymore. So it's not an easy decision with what piece do we block. Bishop is the only way to survive. No, rook f6 is still in the game, because if he gives a check, we can block with the bishop. We can play bishop fa. And we keep the bishop in this diagonal, which is a very important diagonal because we're threatening this square and this square. So if we go rook f6, I think that the best move for white is probably giving a check, bishop f8, and then queen c5, which covers all the checks. Now, if they go there, we might be able to still find something, but it doesn't look very clear. Yeah, this move is annoying. I just realized how annoying is queen b5. Queen b5. Queen b5 sort of defends everything. A guy said careful with rook f1. Yeah, but he doesn't have time for rook f1, right? Does he? Because we are threatening mate. You know, we have this check, and then the king goes here, and then we have checkmate on c5 because the rook on f6 is also covering important squares for the king. Ah, it's not checkmate. You can take the pawn. All right, so the rook on f6 maybe not so great anymore. All right, bishop f6. What a complicated puzzle, bro. Okay, we can take the rook now. If we take the rook, it's a winning endgame. Yeah, we're gonna take the rook. Play this. Okay, but wow, that was a very difficult puzzle. Very hard. Can I see the pass rate of that puzzle? It's probably very low. A very low pass rate for sure. Oh no, it's not that low. 51. Okay, I guess we suck. Okay, the VOD went insane. Okay, let's continue. What a tough way to start the stream. Like that's the first puzzle of the day. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. But at least we got it right. El bot dijo Torre every. Okay. What do we have here? We have knight takes c4. That forces king a4. And if the king goes to a4, I have b5 check, king b3, king b3. Jesus. How do we win that? Maybe rook a3. Rook a3 check. Ah, but if I play that, he has rook h3. He can block with the rook or bishop. So, not really there. Another very difficult one. Knight takes c4 looks correct, though. We take on c4. What if king c4, then rook b2? King c4? Knight takes c4, king a4. Okay. b5. Yeah. King b3. Knight a5. Ah, knight a5. Okay, knight a5. Alright, knight a5. King c3. Yeah, king c3. Wait. That looked very interesting. King c3. b4 is mate. Oh, it is mate. Oh. Nice. Well done. Smiley face. That was very well calculated. We need more comments like that, to be honest. Fantastic job. Yeah, when I get the question, what are your favorite comments? Those Smiley's comment. That's my favorite comment. The entire line. Nice. Okay. Um. Tough. Take the rook. Oh, we should take the rook. Yeah, we take the rook, but then they're gonna give a check on d1. King c8, I imagine. And then they're gonna take the rook. We take the rook back. And the rook takes. I have a check. King h1. Ugh. Really hard. Bishop f2. But they're gonna give a check on d1. Rook d1, it's a move. Is the puzzle always leading to checkmate, or sometimes it's just a winning position? Yeah, sometimes it can only be a winning position, like being up an insane amount of material. Or sometimes you gotta play defense, like it changes a lot. Like in this position, if you count the material, it could be either checkmate or winning material. Like usually when you're down a bunch of material, it's checkmate. If d1, you mate on f3. Mate on f3? You're tripping, chat. Mate on f3, how? Rook d1, king c8, bishop e6 looks crushing. Oh, bishop e6 is a move that we didn't even see. That's a good observation, Leo. Yeah, like allowing this check, chat, it's not that great because he can play. If we take the rook, this is very bad for you. Rook d1 check, king c8, and then bishop e6. Bishop e6 is really, really bad news. You go here, and then you're gonna lose the rook for nothing. I don't even know if that's even okay. Like if he takes with the bishop, or you can also take the knight. So yeah, it would be very good for white. Rook f1 looks like winning. Play it right now. Rook f1. Rook takes. And we take on g3. Yeah, we can take on g3, but sorry, but how is it winning? King e7. I can play king e7, you say. Yeah, king e7. It's a move. No, he takes the rook, and you still have your knight. Rook f1 is still mate. No, but if he plays bishop e6 check, he takes the knight. Why not take his rook? I think that is the move that we should play. Bishop takes g3. Because I don't see anything else. Like, rook f1 seems to be nonsense. I'll take the rook. And we're going to go from there. Alright, so rook d1 now. And instead of king c8, I prefer king e7. Yeah, king e7 looks a little bit better. Now, he's gonna take the rook with check, though. Which is somewhat of a problem, right? So maybe instead of king e7, we go king e8. Ah, but then he takes like this. So we had to play either king e7. And then we take. And we're gonna be up a minor piece in the end. So it should be winning. It's gonna be very hard. But like if we go king e7, bishop takes, rook takes. Rook takes, king takes, and we have 1, 2, 3 minor pieces, and white would only have 2. In my book, that's winning. We take back. Yeah, king e7 then. Nice. Oh boy. Look at these knights. These knights for the win. I clicked for 1 second and I missed it. Yeah, but you're back. Ciao Pieta. Sì, vero. Okay, so this one also looks super difficult, bro. I wonder if I can play something like Queen C8. Nah, right? You guys Rook C7, Queen F4. It's crazy. Knight F5. Oh, you want me to play Knight G3? This check, but with the Knight on F5. Knight F G3. Yeah, but which knight? This one, right? Which knight, though? The knight on E4 or the knight on F5? Knight F2 is the most forcing move, I think. Oh. Knight F2? How is it so forcing? Like Knight F2, if he goes here... Knight H3? King F1? You're not gonna win that, son. Take queen and promote. But I think white is gonna promote faster than me. If we take. Either this pawn or it's gonna fly. But it could be like a very simple plan. Like we take, pawn takes, and then d4. And if they push, I can always go knight d6. They push again, I take, takes. There. Yeah, but they can push e6. E6 is also a problem. Like, if we go for this, I think white is winning because they have 2 pass pawns. Well, 3, but this one is not that important for the moment. So we might be able to control this pawn, but what about the pawn here when he gets to e6, e7? We're gonna have to sacrifice another knight to stop that pawn, and my pawn didn't have time to go up. So I don't think it's queen takes. Queen c8. Yeah, I was looking at queen c8, but I think it's too risky. I don't think it's working because, yeah, you want to infiltrate, but then it's white's turn. They can play queen f4, and queen f4 simply wins. Like, you play g5, queen takes f5. And then we have a check. King h2. No, actually, king g2. It's okay, probably. Queen check.
Bruno.
It might be okay, but I don't really see it. Queen c8, rook c7, knight f3. When is knight f3 a move? Bruno, thank you for the follow. Knight f g3 check. King g2. Okay, but why king g2? Knight g3, king g2, queen f8. Rook f7. What? But king g2, it's really hard for me to process. Like, why do we have to play king g2? What if they go king g1? Sorry, I meant queen c8, rook c7, knight g3. Knight g3 check. Okay, so queen c8, rook c7, knight. Yeah, but rook c7 is not a forcing move. Like, white doesn't have to go here. They can give a check on f4 if they want. Knight f2. And then what?
E plus J equals J Marie.
J Marie, thank you for the follow. En cualquier... La del rey, dama f8. Okay, I see what you mean. Like, basically, this check and then queen fa. So as to infiltrate on f1. Okay, that makes more sense. Now I get it. So your idea is to use this knight so we have some space for the queen, because queen c8 is clearly not working. Okay, that's actually very sensible. And the king g2 we have queen f1, and that's actually good. I like it. King g2 takes. Rook f7 we take, we win. Yeah. Queen d8 to queen d4. Too slow. And how are you gonna get to d4? Okay, we're gonna go for that line. I think it's like the most sound approach. Like we're gonna go here. And then queen f8. And yeah, it takes. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, I could have played it earlier if someone explains to me. Like, if you go queen fa, you can actually infiltrate. There's no way for white to stop that. You're gonna have to sacrifice, yeah. Okay. I can take that 9. Should I? Looks risky. Alright, so this puzzle is about playing defense, because I think we're up material here. No, it's equal. Well, if we take the knight, we are up material, like. So we play pawn takes b5, queen takes, bishop d7. Where does the queen go? The queen can go to b7. If he goes to b7, we can play rook d8. Try to survive that. If bishop takes, king takes, queen b4 check, king e8, and we're sort of fine there. I'm gonna take the knight. I'm gonna take the knight and go from there. Now bishop d7 makes sense, like self-pinning, not very promising, and going to d8. I think it's simply made, right? If he goes bishop a5, and we're cooked. So here, and for this one, I was looking at rook d8, like to defend everything, but maybe this is also a move. Now, if I go to c8, isn't this a response for him? Rook c1 would be very annoying. Another interesting move is bishop c6. If I go there, I get mated. I think it's rook d8. Castle. Castle would give the piece back It might be an option to castle and give the piece back. But it's quite lame. Yeah, because castle is just forget about the bishop, forget about the knight. The king will be safe, yes, but if you're down so much material, it doesn't matter. You will lose eventually. So rook d8. Okay. It wasn't rook d8. So is it castle? I don't approve castle. Oh, so it is rook c8. I thought it wasn't a good move, but what do I know? Okay. Okay, so here we have queen h3, king h1, right? But if king h1, queen f3 wins. So what? This check no, because he has bishop here. If the bishop blocks like that, we are in trouble. But I think queen h3 wins. Now we just play queen h3. If the king goes to g1, if the king goes to g1, knight f3, king h1. No, that's not good. Oh, so it is actually queen g4 then. Queen g4. If he plays bishop here, we have queen f3 check, and that wins. Now, if he goes king h1, we play queen f3 check. King, yeah, it's queen g4 actually. I mean, I'm 200, so I don't know. I think you should play h3. Yeah, I also thought that it was h3, but that's why I took a moment to see whether it was okay. Okay, here. I kind of like bishop d6, but maybe the bishop is perfectly placed already. What about rook e8? Oh, there are so many tempting moves. I play rook d8. Jesus. It scares me. Yeah, it's a scary position, yeah. It's so easy to go wrong here. Like, bishop d6 comes to mind, but I don't know. Rook e8 is also a move that I'm looking at. Bishop takes c3. Pawn takes.
BXEHHHH.
BX, thank you so much for the follow. If we take on c3, and after pawn takes, we go rook e8. He has to stay in this diagonal, sorry, in this file to defend the bishop. So we go rook e8. Nope. They can go here and play this move. If they do that. Maybe this. This. Oh, it seems that they have so many ways to defend the bishop, bro. Annoying. I think rook e8 first. He can't defend bishop next turn, so you're just threatening. Rook e8 first. So because he doesn't have queen c5. Okay, yeah, that sort of makes sense. Alright, so he doesn't have queen c5, so he's gonna go elsewhere. You can go. No, no. Oh, he doesn't have any other square. Also, yeah, it is rook e8 then. Yes, I was trying to make this work. Bishop takes c3, pawn takes, and then rook e8. But in that position, he can go here. Queen c5, still defending the bishop. And if you try to harass the queen there, you're gonna fail. You're gonna go here. And he has queen c4. As soon as he plays queen c4, d3 is available, and as well as queen b3. But rook e8 immediately. Queen b6. b3, g3, sorry. He's threatening this, though. But I'm gonna take it anyway. Okay, and now we have this. We can defend the bishop. Like that. Okay. Nice. Okay, so this one looks to be queen f2. Queen f2, king h1. And then we play queen f3, check. King g1. King g1, bishop c5. Bishop c5. h2. King h2, wait, king h2. Queen f2, check. King h1, we're not making progress. Okay, so queen f2. King h1. And we might have to take like this. But if we take like that, we're not winning because he has queen g1. So it has to be what I said, but I couldn't find the win plan after king h2. Alright, so check. King h1. King h1. Queen f3. Queen f3 check. King g1. And here I was looking at bishop c5. Bishop c5 there. If f1 I win. If king h2, that's not available. He has to go here. I can take on h3, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm not really visualizing the entire thing because I had a long day. But I think I'm winning if I do this. Oh. Damn it, bro. I don't think that one was that difficult. But I couldn't see it. Oh, you take on g3. That's really hard to see. Oh. And then queen g3, right? Yeah. Yikes. Okay. It's time to lose some rating. We're gonna play chess now. What do we play, chat? Blitz or Rapid? What do we play? Blitz or Rapid? Blitz or Rapid? Blitz? Okay, nice, because we've been playing too much Rapid, I would say. Yeah, like, it's been like 4 days of only playing Rapid. So playing Blitz comes with very good timing. Alright. So we're all set. Let me just fix the board over here. Okay. Oof. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a mistake. How do we punish this? Pawn takes, right? Pawn takes. Pawn takes. It has to go here, right? That's another mistake. We go here now. Okay. So we're up a piece here. No, we're not really up a piece, but we have 2 extra pawns, which is very good. Let's play short castle. Okay, knight there. Let's bring the knight. Let's go here, I guess. Oh yeah, it's knight. Trading pieces there is gonna be annoying. Okay, but I really wanna... I'm gonna go for it anyways, because I have queen e4. I'll just play this. I like my position. He has to trade. It's a move. Let's play this. Okay. Nice. We're winning here because, well, she still has a move. Okay, but knight f6 looks very strong. Knight f6. Pawn takes. I think it's time to sacrifice here. Well, let's not rush it. We're just gonna go here. Takes. And then we had take on c7. Another pawn. Oh, I could have played knight f... Fuck! Knight f6 was completely crushing. Damn it, you idiot! You could have won right there. Oh, knight f6! Stupid. Okay, we're still winning. Can I go for more? Can I go back? And he takes here. Ah, shit, bro. So stupid of me, though. On. Oh, what a terrible conversion, bro. Such a bad conversion. But we won. We won. That's what matters. Ugh. Jesus Christ. We could have. Oh my god! Like, missing knight f6, it's unacceptable, bro. How the fuck did you miss knight f6? That really pissed me off, bro. Ooh! Right here. No. It was way back. Here. Knight takes, queen takes. He played queen takes. What a fucking maniac. That's why I couldn't react to it, because it was such a bad move. When they play so terribly, like when they play these horrendous moves, my brain doesn't react properly. Here, you just have to go knight f6, but you're not ready for knight f6 because you're never expecting. You're just not expecting queen takes e6. That is outrageous. It's such a bad move that you could never be ready for it. Like, here, I was simply calculating pawn takes, bishop takes, of course, like normal moves, right? But no, he played queen takes. And I couldn't react to it because, like, I was in autopilot. You played knight takes e7 because queen e6 is horrible. And here I had knight f6, and I could have won the queen. It's so frustrating. 100% self-inflicted, by the way. Yes, absolutely. It's always like that. Yeah, we got a new personal best in Blitz, though. That's what matters. We won. That's all I needed. It was horrible, though. Horrible. How do you... How did you not see it? Oh! I mean, I saw it, but at the same time, I didn't. W, personal best. Yes, our store. Thank you so much. I'm confused. How does the knight win? Yeah, knight f6 because it is a discovered check. And he has to move the king or take. And then we take the queen after that. That's why it's winning. But okay, I'm still happy that we got a new personal best. We're very close to 2300, chat. Yeah, we're cooking. We're low-key cooking. Low-key cooking. Where are you streaming? I'm streaming on TikTok as well, bud. Okay. So, oh yeah, chat. New personal best in Blitz. Let's go. Let's fucking... Yo, it could have been better. Yes. We know that it could have been better, but still. Oh. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a lovely evening, a good night. I'll see you tomorrow for more chess. Hopefully we get a new personal best again, because we've been doing this very consistently lately. We're getting personal new peaks, new peak rating in Rapid and Blitz very, very consistently. Like every single stream, we get at least one. So that's, in that regard, we're doing great. Okay, thank you so much. Have a lovely night, a good evening. Thank you. Bye-bye. See ya.